evening. You've joined us right here on the India Development Debate. I'm Taneia Bhardwaj, coming to you live from our Mumbai studios. It's the floor test for the anti-triple talaq bill. The Lok Sabha today took up the proposed legislation for a debate, leading to heated exchanges between the Treasury and opposition benches. The new law, which will replace the September 2018 ordinance, looks to end the Muslim practice of breaking a marriage through a verbal decree. In fact, this is the second attempt by the Modi government to get the bill passed ever since the Supreme Court ruled that triple talaq is arbitrary and unconstitutional. Now, batting for the bill rather vigorously was Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, saying that the new law is not against any religion, but it's about giving protection and restoring the dignity of Muslim women. Interestingly, all parties are on the same page when it comes to putting an end to this archaic practice. The main objection, though, of the opposition party has been against some provisions which provide for criminal proceedings against the husband. Drawing attention to the Sabarimala standoff, had the Congress using the opportunity to put the Modi government on the mat for its double standards, as it called it, on religious matters. When it comes to gender justice, India has a very poor track record, and there is no debate that Indian women deserve better. The only question is whether the triple talaq bill in its current form is the right answer to the ills of Muslim women in India, and that's what we're going to talk about this evening on the India Development Debate. And for that discussion, joining in on the show, BJP spokesperson Narendra Taneja, Congress spokesperson Amiben Yagnik. We've also got A. Fezur Rahman, Secretary General of Islamic Forum for the Promotion of Moderate Thought, and the co-founder of the Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan, Zakia Suman, is here with us as well. Good evening, all of you, and thank you so much for taking the time out for us. Mr. Taneja, I'm going to kick this discussion off, with you. You passed the bill a year back. It met with stiff resistance in Rajya Sabha. Then you brought in an ordinance after making amendments. How confident are you that this time round you're going to be able to pass the Rajya Sabha test?
Well, you see, it's not about the confidence or lack of confidence. We believe in it. It's the question of that, doing whatever we can, in Parliament in order to make sure that, our Muslim sisters and mothers, they have the same right which are guaranteed under the Constitution. You see, in terms of gender justice. So it's more about that. If it takes a longer time, if it takes more debate, if it requires us to put in more efforts, we will do it. It's nothing to do with politics. It's nothing to do with anything else. It's just that we think that if we really want to transform India into a modern country, a modern economy, and a modern society, we just cannot be leave this part untouched. We need to do it, and we are a large party with 12 crore membership. We have millions and millions of Muslim women who are members of the party, and plus we have connect with them. We know what precisely they want. Every single Muslim woman, except for those for political reasons or because they have their own NGOs, they are supporting it, and they're looking for the day when they will be basically enjoying the same rights as other women in this country guaranteed under the Constitution. So for us, it's important. This is something, it's an unfinished agenda of the nation, not of the BJP. Congress should have done that long time ago. That what Congress did shouldn't have happened. But anyway, now our focus is that how can we do it as soon as possible. Some people see politics in it, some people see other things. Let them do whatever they want. But we can give you example of many Islamic countries also, many Muslim countries, and you see that their women are, have equal rights. Why can't they have equal rights here in this country? So we will work in that direction. It's a fight, we know that. We know we are against forces like Congress party. They are against women. They are against, gender rights. They are against the rights of oppressed. We know that. They say whatever, but in fact, they are against women. And they are against particularly Muslim women. So we will fight against it. That's our commitment. And and we will continue to do so.
Right. Mr. Taneja, let me give Ms. Yagnik then, the next opportunity to make her opening remarks. Ms. Yagnik, the Lok Sabha, of course, has passed, the bill amidst your MPs staging a walkout. Now, many would say that some stringent controversial clauses that your party had an issue with were sort of watered down. What is the opposition stand now? Will you support it in the Rajya Sabha, or are you going to continue insisting on it being sent to a select committee?
See, whenever there is such a bill that is brought in the Parliament, generally when there are stakeholders to be heard and when very important legislation is to be passed, and especially in a matter like this, when we have the Supreme Court who has given the judgment and the law is following thereafter, it should be sent to the select committee for consideration. But I think in this matter the BJP is in such a hurry that it has chosen this path and has tried to bring the criminal angle in the act, and that is where we completely want that this angle should not have been there, because it's a personal loss. But you have asked me a question, but I would like to be a little away from the question and say, yes, the BJP, if they thought so much about the protection of women or gender equality, they should have brought the bill immediately when they came to power after 2014, because they had a majority. Why have they come only after the Honorable Apex Court has passed the order? That is also a question to be asked. And all the time talking that Congress is against women, and the spokesperson saying that they are against gender rights. I think they should be reminded that all that has happened in for women empowerment and all the right-based laws that have made women a little stronger in the last couple of decades is because of the policies, the schemes and the laws that the Congress government has come out with. So let's not get into that. The short point is that there should not have been a criminal angle in the bill, because this will give rise to a lot of consequential effects which will definitely hurt the woman in the end and the children of that family in the end.
Sure. All right. Zakia, let me ask you, the political grandstanding apart, you know, this is a revised bill that allows the complainant, the victim, to drop charges if the husband is willing to look after the crucial issue of maintenance. And though the offence is still non-bailable, a judge can grant bail after speaking to the aggrieved party. Would you say this is a good start?
Yeah, before answering your question, let me say that unfortunately in our country, politics always takes precedence over the question of gender justice. So I need to, reiterate it here that a law against triple talaq is badly required. This is not about BJP, this is not about Congress, this is not about any political party. This is about justice for Muslim women, to which they are entitled as per the Constitution, to which we are entitled as per the Quran. The Parliament has legislated the personal laws of all other communities except the Muslim community. So this legislation is badly required. Now, coming to the various aspects of the bill, initially when it was presented, the bill was presented, we called for a few amendments. We wanted the offence to be compoundable and bailable. We wanted the FIR to be registered only and only at the instance of the wife. No third party intervention, because marriage is a contract between husband and wife. So both these amendments have been accepted. Now I need to say it here that without deterrence, law is meaningless. Whereas just punishment in itself cannot serve any objective, but deterrence is important, and that is how we have deterrence, we have punishment in the anti-dowry law, in the anti-domestic violence law, we have punishment in the bigamy law. So we should not read anything beyond that into this law also. Now the question is that this whole propaganda about, since the Supreme Court has already ruled against triple talaq, where is the need for law? I'm afraid that's not how it plays out in real life. We have had numerous cases of women, about 44 to 45 cases have come to us in the last 1 year, where women have been instantly divorced through the triple talaq method post the Supreme Court judgment. So at that time when she is divorced and she is thrown out of the home, there is nobody there in her life on the ground to enforce that there is a judgment against this kind of practice, that this method is wrong. Who will enforce that in real life? So that's why the whole question of the need for reform in the Muslim personal law. We have been calling for a comprehensive legal reform to regulate all aspects of marriage and family, just as all aspects of marriage and family in the Hindu law are regulated, in the Christian law also they are regulated. It's only the Muslim community which is governed by the 1937 Sharia Application Act, which doesn't talk about any of the grievous issues affecting the lives of Muslim women, such as the age of marriage, such as the method of divorce, such as the question of polygamy, such as the question of custody and guardianship of children, such as the share in property and inheritance, all of which are given to her duly by Quranic injunctions. But in India, because of, you know, the politics with the way it has gone, we have been denied the protection of law. So we badly need a law against triple talaq. And in that context, I really wish all the political parties collaborate and pass this law.
All right, Zakia, we take your point. You know, thank you for your opening remarks. Faizur Rahman, from your vantage point, you know, under the new bill, triple talaq, complaint can be filed only by the woman or her family and not by anybody else. Does this, you think, address the concern of any potential misuse of a false complaint?
No, certainly not. See, my view has been very consistent right from the day one. I have been arguing in my articles in several newspapers that we do not need this law. Reform of Muslim personal law is a totally different subject altogether. Yes, we do need reform. But now we are not discussing that. A law against triple talaq is a different matter altogether. We have to go purely by law and logic here. For you to have a law against triple talaq, you will have to first prove whether triple talaq has happened. The bill talks about talaq-e-bida. Talaq-e-bida means instantaneous divorce. A man pronouncing this verse talaq thrice in quick succession, and then the marriage ends. But after the Supreme Court judgment, the marriage does not end. So therefore, for you to criminalize something or to even punish him for anything at all, you need to prove the crime. Where is the crime here? When even if a person pronounces not 3 but 30 times, the marriage does not break. So when no crime has taken place, there is no question of bringing a law against it. Prove the crime, then create a law. So therefore, in my opinion, this entire law needs to be withdrawn. We don't need a law against triple talaq. We're talking about Muslim women's issue. What are the Muslim issues faced by Muslim women today? Look at the literacy rates. Today, we are hardly, 50% of the Muslim women and men are educated. So if at all there's a problem of, the main problem for women is the literacy. Address literacy against women, address so many other issues faced by women. So therefore, these are the issues. Triple talaq, just now Zakia Soman said that she has come across 44 cases post the triple talaq judgment. But I don't think that there's a big number. First of all, we need to have a documentary evidence to prove the kind of cases. Even if such 44 cases have been there of triple divorce, what it means is the person giving the divorce and the divorced wife does not know that marriage no longer breaks even if he pronounces. So what we basically need is an awareness campaign on a massive scale. Just if the woman who is being divorced or through triple divorce, that is through talaq knows that her marriage does not break by what husband says, she will simply just ignore the divorce. And if the man also knows that by pronouncing these 3 words in quick succession, my marriage is not going to break, he is not going to be worried about it. He may have uttered it in some kind of a heated debate or heated discussion, but then he will realize subsequently that my marriage remains intact. So no matter, so these 44 cases which Zakia Soman is talking about is not a cases of divorce. It is a cases of pronouncement of divorce, but the marriage is intact. That is what Supreme Court said. And under Article 141 of the Indian Constitution, the law laid down any Supreme Court decision, the law laid down to Supreme Court is the law.
Okay. All right.
So therefore, the Supreme Court is very clear about it. Sure. It has set aside the law. Marriage does not break any longer.
Yeah.
So prove the crime.
All right. Mr. Taneia, let me come to you. You know, a bone of contention here is that no other marriage act, whether it's the Hindu Marriage Act, the Christian Marriage Act or the Parsi Marriage Act, is, you know, sort of criminalizing divorce. If marriage is a civil contract, then how can the breakdown of marriage really be a criminal offense? So how would you justify triple talaq being made a criminal offense?
No. You see, please try to look at the history, and at the same time, this matter has been debated, outside, ever since the Supreme Court judgment, even before that, ever since, the Congress party changed the law. Shah Banu case. It is being debated, and different people have different opinion. In democracy, at the end of the day, the opinion of the majority that prevails. The Supreme Court called it very clear. They called it all unconstitutional. It's the Supreme Court of India. It's not me. It's not Bharatiya Janata Party. They call it illegal. The Supreme Court declared it illegal. Triple Talaq. They even call it un-Islamic. What more you want? And ever since the Supreme Court judgment, there's been debate. The entire country has been debating it. There's also been debate in Parliament now. You have seen that. The point is, that's how it works. Different people may have different opinions. There may still be some men, I insist, and that, they may have a different opinion because they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They think they have their different way, that they have treated women. The fact is that, there is a constitution in the country, and Muslim women have the same rights of Hindu or Christian or Sikh or Jain or other women. And we just want to make sure it is there. In terms of, why to make it a criminal offense, you have to have a kind of deterrence. If there is no deterrence, there are people, they will find some other way. And if a man doesn't have any intention to really do those kind of things, then why is he worried about it? I mean, there are laws for many things. If you are not going to be like that, commit a crime or do something wrong, go against the law, why just ignore it? Why are you worried about it? That's the whole story. Now the point here is that, my friend from the Congress spokesperson, he said, why didn't the BJP take up that issue in 2014? 2014, when moved, the entire country was in paralysis. There was no policy decision. There was policy paralysis. The economy was in a bad shape. The country was in a bad shape. So we had to first pull the country out of the ICU economically. So we had to, sort out our priorities. Once we did that, after that we started, paying our attention to all these things. Our commitment is not politics for us, maybe politics for Congress. For us, it's not politics. It's to make sure that Muslim sisters and, mothers of our country, finally, we make sure that they get justice. And we are just working for that. And I want to share one thing with your viewers and you, that we will do whatever necessary to make sure Muslim women, they have the same rights as women of other religions in this country.
Sure,
we will work whatever possible, and we will make sure. Let Congress run a campaign. Let them do it. Let them work against Muslim women. Muslim women will teach them a lesson. Just wait.
I don't think that really is the intention. But Ms. Yagnik, I'm going to give you, the opportunity to respond to this. And I would also like to ask, the Congress had objected to the provision of the Triple Talaq bill on the account that it sort of disincentivizes maintenance, as it, puts the offender, which is the husband, behind bars without really leaving the door ajar for any compromise. Now, with the provisions of, being able to take back the complaint, provided the husband is willing for a compromise, would you say that that maintenance issue at least has been adequately addressed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
First of all, I think the BJP spokesperson has given a very laudable program that after 2014 what they were supposed to do. I think none of the promises have been kept, and it's an eyewash about what the other factors are being told to the people of this country. That apart, the criminal angle, ultimately taking the matter, a family matter, a marriage matter to a criminal court itself has its consequences. Whether the maintenance is going to be provided by the husband, what kind of subsistence allowance is going to be given by him, what is he going to do for the children, and what is this maintenance which he will give while he is in jail, what is the provision, how it will be provided for, if he doesn't do it, is the government providing something in the bill? These are the issues that are large and they are not being addressed, and that is why the necessity to take it before a select committee, which is generally done when these kind of bills are being put before the parliament. Now this is not being done. So why is the BJP in a hurry to do this? Because I think if BJP was for gender equality, for gender dignity, for safety and security of women, then I think we would not have the graph of crimes against women go so high in this last 4.5 years. So I'm not touching that point either, but I think security and safety of women has taken a backseat as far as the data which is shown by the National Crime Records is concerned. So
Sure.
this criminal angle which has crept in, a personal law law act was to be taken care, required to be taken care of. That is the only point by the Congress party, and this can be sorted out when you listen to all the stakeholders and it goes before a select committee, and the time asked was only 15 days. So within 15 days, when the select committee can sit and discuss these points and come out with a robust act which will be providing safety and security to the Muslim women, and that is where gender equality comes in its right spirit, because we are giving dignity by way of gender equality. We are not doing a slipshod job.
Sure. Zakia, let me ask you the same question. Does the criminalization come in the way of a woman's right to get, a sustenance allowance here?
No, see, the way I look at it is criminalization in itself is not serving any objective, except that it is like a huge deterrent for the man who is indulging in this kind of a arbitrary practice. And that gives some kind of a bargaining power in the hands of the woman. And see, we have a dowry law, we have the domestic violence law. It's not as though all men are sent to jail. That sort of brings him to the table of negotiation, which he was originally supposed to do on his own, but he did not do it. That's why this whole question of triple talaq. So the fear of law, the fear of being, sent to jail will bring him to come and discuss the things with his wife and sort it out in an amicable manner. So to that extent, it has a huge role to play. So that also can be discussed, between the various, political parties and the parliamentarians, and it can be sorted out. It's not something on which, it can break or sort of make the law. So I think there is a lot of possibilities where everybody can work together for a law.
Faizur Rahman, the law provides for a 3-year imprisonment. It's non-bailable. It's a non-bailable offence, and many people believe it's too sensational and disproportionate to the breakdown of a civil contract. What is your point of view here?
Certainly they are right. It is a civil issue. It cannot be criminalized. And before that, we are failing to answer the basic question. When a Muslim husband pronounces triple talaq, that is talaq-e-bida, by uttering the word talaq thrice in quick succession, does the marriage break? We have to answer this question first. And the entire law, this bill, goes on has been drafted on the assumption that marriage breaks. Interestingly, the bill itself says in one of its sections that triple talaq is void. So it is legally ineffective. Therefore, even if the man pronounces this word several times, it's not going to break the marriage. When the marriage is not broken, where is the question of the law? Why are you not answering this? Nobody is answering this basic question. First, let us please tell us whether the marriage breaks or not.
If the answer is no, uttering triple talaq, and he marries another wife.
Okay, I'm actually.
If a Muslim has, no, let me complete.
Yes, okay, go ahead, please do.
Let me complete this answer. Just give me a second. So, see, yes, it is possible that a Muslim husband can still utter these 3 words and throw the wife out. Now, throwing the wife out of the house is a different matter altogether. That is an offence. So, a person can be punished for throwing the wife out. And the wife should, if the wife knows that this marriage has not broken, then she won't allow him to be thrown out. To be thrown out, right? She don't allow him to throw her out. So therefore, it all boils down to the question of awareness. Everybody has to be told now the marriage no longer breaks if the husband utters these 3 words. If this awareness is there, then nobody will have any problem. What I basically feel is let the government go on a massive campaign. Perhaps the Prime Minister can even talk about it in the Mann Ki Baat and tell the country that even if your husband pronounces these words, please let it be known that the marriage is intact. Then there can be an advertisement campaign. FM radios can talk about it. All India Radio can talk about it. Let there be a massive education campaign in this country to educate Muslim women that no matter what your husband says.
I'm going to have to intervene here because I have just last 2 minutes left. And so, Mr. Taneja, very quickly, and I really request you to keep it brief. During the debate today, various references were made to Sabarimala. And the question really to be asked is, why does the realm of state intervention and judiciary and personal faith and freedom sort of begin? How do we ensure that there's a line drawn between the two?
No, if you're digging into history, you have to dig more fairly. After Shah Banu case, what the Congress party did? They got the Supreme Court to overrule, they got the Parliament to overrule the Supreme Court. That's Congress party for you. That's Congress party for you. That's what Congress can do to Muslim women. They're so deadly against Muslim women and their rights. So please be fair. Now the question is that you have to make a law that tomorrow a party like Congress can't go turn against women, Muslim women again. You have to make sure. And the second point is the Congress keeps talking about Select Committee. It only just an excuse because they want the whole thing to be delayed forever. Because for them, Muslim women and Muslims is just a vote bank. For Congress party, Muslims are not human beings. Muslim women are not human beings.
Mr. Taneja, I'm going to have to stop you there.
They want to keep them in caves.
Miss Yagnik, my last question.
No, listen.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm completely running out of time. So, Miss Yagnik, my last question. Is the apprehension here the fact that the government is using this to set the stage for a uniform civil code?
No, I think the government has to be very clear whether it wants to give gender equality, whether it wants to see that women get their right, irrespective of class, caste and age here. I think the government is not clear. Not the government, the BJP is not clear because it's a majority government, and that is why the clarity is not coming forth. They are in a rush because they are before the elections. They could have done it very well in earlier, and now also before the Select Committee, only 2 weeks are being asked. So there is no such hurry. They can give this 2 weeks and call all the stakeholders, but if there is a political will really for gender equality and gender justice.
All right, with that, I'm
which
going
is
to
not being seen at all.
Right. I'm afraid I've completely run out. Thank you to each one of you, Narendra Taneja, Ambiben Yagnik, Faizur Rahman, and of course, Sakia Soman. Thank you so much for taking the time out in this edition of the India Development Debate.